I have an announcement. Welcome, everyone. Our worship service will begin shortly. Please take a moment to look around the sanctuary to locate the nearest exit sign. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please proceed calmly towards this exit and head towards the parking lot. If an evacuation becomes necessary, please also keep an eye out for others who may have mobility challenges or be unfamiliar with our church. Our community takes care of one another, and we'll begin shortly. Good morning. My name is Bruce Stewart, and I use he, him pronouns. I have the honor of being your worship associate this morning. Please take a moment to put your mind, spirit, and cell phones in worship mode. We welcome everyone here and online to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Roanoke. We're glad you're here with us. Now, please take a moment to turn or stand if you wish to greet those joining us online. For everyone online who wishes to share your joys and concerns during the Lifelines portion of the service, please put them in the chat in the next 15 minutes. And now our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that our church resides on the traditional lands of the Tutelo and Monacan nations and was later farmed and developed through slave labor. We recognize and respect ongoing connection to this land by generations of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. May our gratitude and fellowship here echo and honor that rich history. And now please join me in reciting our words of welcome. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you express your identity, whatever your situation in life, whatever your experience of the holy, as you come seeking love, your presence here is a gift. Whether you are filled with sadness or overflowing with joy, needing to be alone with yourself, or eager to engage with others, all who welcome all are welcome here. And now our covenant. We commit to supporting each other with respect and direct communication as we work in community to explore spiritual growth and to be a force for good in the world.
Find the pick.
The cough drops. slow down, you move too fast. You got to make the morning last, just kicking down the cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling groovy. Da-da-da-da-da-da, feeling groovy. Hello, lamppost, what you knowin'? I come to watch your flowers growin'. Ain't you got no rhymes for me? Doodin' feeling groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da, feeling groovy. Play it, Erica. I got no deeds to do, no promises to keep. I'm dappled and drowsy and ready to sleep. Let the morning time drop all its petals on me. Life, I love you, all is groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, feeling groovy. Hey, Rev Jen, what you knowin'? We come to church just to hear your poems. We also like your cool tattoos. Do-do-do-do, feeling you. Da-da-da-da-da, feeling you.
That was amazing. Thank you. You know, I was trying to I don't always know song titles. Like, I didn't recognize this immediately, and I was like, well, patience and Advent and waiting. And they're like, this is the one that starts, slow down, you move too fast. And I was like, it all works. It all works. Thank you, Still Frisky and guests that we have today. Good morning. I am the aforementioned Rev Jen Raffensperger. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm honored to serve as the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Roanoke. And just jump right into it and bring it way down. No. Our opening words this morning are a poem by Boris Novak called Decisions. Between two words, choose the quieter one. Between word and silence, choose listening. Between two books, choose the dustier one. Between the earth and the sky, choose a bird. Between two animals, choose the one who needs you more. Between two children, choose both. Between the lesser and the bigger evil, choose neither. Between hope and despair, choose hope. It will be harder to bear. I'll invite Bruce to light our chalice this morning as we join with Unitarian Universalist churches and congregations and communities around the nation and the world in lighting the chalice, the flaming chalice of our faith tradition this morning. May it be a beacon to you in dark times and places. Bruce blew out the chalice at the same time. It's fine. I would have done the same thing. Light we now kindle, inspire us. Thank you, Bruce. Here's our to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, O Spirit of life. we're doing something a little extra this morning, and we will be doing it for the next 4 Sundays. Because today is the first Sunday in the Christian season of Advent, the 4 weeks of waiting before Christmas. Now, we don't always do this in Unitarian Universalist congregations, but I think it's important for us to sometimes take time with aspects of the Christian origins of our faith at times other than just Christmas Eve and Easter Sunday, right? So this is a chance to give some attention to the spiritual practice of patience and slowing down. So we have some texts by the UU minister, Reverend Rosemary Morrison, this year to light our candles each week. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Advent wreaths are often pieces at tables in Christian, specifically very much Catholic families like the one I was raised in. And there are often 1 candle per week is lit every night. We're going to light one every Sunday. The placing of candles upon a circle of evergreens is an age-old tradition. Lighting additional candles each day or week as the light wanes has been part of human rituals for centuries upon centuries. We are warmed by the glow. We are reminded that the wheel of the season will turn and brilliant lengthening days will return. The original Advent wreath in the Christian tradition dates back to the 16th century and included a candle for each of the 24 days leading up to Christmas, which leads to our current secular practices of Advent wreaths with every conceivable product you could possibly want to open 24 of. For us, here in this time, the circle of evergreens reminds us that life and love will never end. We light candles each week with anticipation as we know a new season will soon be here. Days will become longer, and we know the warmth of the candles will soon be replaced by the warmth of the sun. The first Advent candle is the candle of hope. Hope is the motivating force that moves us through times of despair. The days are getting shorter, the weather colder, and the nights longer. Hope tells us that longer days are ahead, that new life will emerge, and that we need to hold on just a little longer. With hope, we begin our journey toward the sun and the new life it brings. We light the candle of hope. That's going to be fun. Yes.
Hey y'all, I'm Jessie, and I scooted that table because I was afraid I was going to light the microphone on fire. I use they, them pronouns, and I want to invite up all of my young friends. I've got some questions for you guys. I do a lot of asking questions up here, don't I? So my first question is, what is patience? Waiting. Waiting for a while. Is it just waiting for a while? And not complaining? Sounds like that's been told to you sometimes. Anything else that means patience? What about hope? Do you think hope might have a similar definition? Wanting something? Do you have to wait for what you want sometimes? Do you have to wait a long time sometimes? I like the no. I like that. No. When you hope for something, it just shows up. Would that happened every single time? Sometimes we have to wait a long time. Can we sometimes not? Do we lose hope sometimes when we're being patient? Yeah, we do. So in this season, what are we waiting for? After Thanksgiving, what do we wait for? What do we hope for? Christmas. What else? Thanksgiving? You got like a whole lot of time to wait for that again. New Year's Eve. Does anybody wait to get out of school? Yeah. Well, June 5th is when you get out for the summer, but do you get Christmas break or do you have to go to school on Christmas? You get Christmas break. Okay. Do you wait for Christmas break? Are you patient or not so patient? You wait for it. You've got hope that it's going to happen, and you're patient for it. Let me tell you, I was never patient. Once we got back after Thanksgiving, I was impatient. So what would you tell little Jessie, who does not have a great attitude, is pouting a little bit? What would you tell little Jessie how to practice being patient? Be good and then you get a present? What are ways that we can be good while we're being patient? What? There's something inside the box that you're hoping for. Yeah. How about our very first, so what we're going to do is we're going to fill up our Advent calendar with advice. Yeah. We're going to give people advice for this year. So our first week being hope, we're going to go fill up that calendar with things about hope and patience, because they go hand in hand, don't they? So the first one is going to be good, because something that you hope for may be at the end of your patience and hope, right? Yeah. All right, so we're actually going to have to take that Advent calendar. I'm going to ask Malin to carry it. We're going to take it out of this room, and we're going to fill it up. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's do it.
Our reading this morning is a poem by Jan Richardson called A Blessing for Traveling in the Dark. Go slow if you can, slower, more slowly still. Friendly, dark, or fearsome, this is no place to break your neck by rushing, by running, by crashing into what you cannot see. Then again, it is true, different darks have different tasks. And if you have arrived here unawares, if you have come in peril or in pain, this might be no place you should dawdle. I do not know what these shadows ask of you, what they might hold that means you good or ill. It is not for me to reckon whether you should linger or you should leave. But this is what I can ask for you, that in the darkness there be a blessing, that in the shadows there be a welcome, that in the night you be encompassed by the love that knows your name.
Thank you, Bruce. There we go. I have a confession to make. I have never cared much for Emily Dickinson. I know that as a poetry aficionado an occasional poet myself, and as well as a woman who goes against a bit what society expects of her, I know it is nearly sacrilege for me to say this. In the spring of 1990, when I was about to graduate from high school, I was awarded a scholarship, an award for outstanding work in English language and literature, named after a very beloved longtime English teacher at that school who sadly passed away before I got a chance to study with him. I was shocked and honored to receive the prize, and I went up front when my name was called to accept it, and they handed me a small check and an inscribed copy of the complete works of Emily Dickinson, lovingly written out to me personally in honor of my achievement. Meaning I could basically never get rid of this book. In my first attempt at my undergraduate degree, ultimately it took me good heavens. I know, it's the radiator. I know it's... You okay? I guess. Whoo, Emily is mad. I'm sorry. We're coming back to this? Okay. In my first attempt at my undergraduate degree, I took a poetry class. I also developed a huge crush on the teaching assistant who taught this poetry class. As such, I decided a thing I should do would be to stay after class to talk with this teaching assistant about Emily Dickinson and why she was overrated. Look, I know. Sometimes crushes make us do really dumb things, okay? I was 19. Though I don't think that I impressed this person very much, and certainly not in the way I hoped to, I was left with a grudging appreciation and understanding of Dickinson's genius. While she's still not someone that I turn to that often and almost never read purely for pleasure, I am proud that my stubborn heart eventually made way for this understanding to take root. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. As we've already talked about, today we're taking time to observe the beginning of the Christian liturgical season of Advent, observed on the 4 Sundays preceding Christmas, the holy day celebrating the birth of Jesus. The weeks leading up to Christmas are a time that ask tremendous patience of us all. If you, like me, were raised in a Christian household or a secular household that celebrated the cultural holiday of Christmas, then as a child, you knew how hard it was to wait. So much focus, so much anticipation rested on that one single day on the calendar. I know. It's terrible. If you were raised in another faith tradition or another culture where Christmas celebrations weren't so prevalent or didn't exist at all, then the Christmas season asks a tremendous amount of patience of you as you navigate the music, the lights, the sounds, the smells, the sails, all the gaudy, glorious excess that accompanies Christmas annually in the United States. As an adult of any faith tradition or none at all, the expectations of this season can be heavy. Be joyous. Buy a lot of things. listen to the same songs 11 billion times and restrain yourself from locating speakers mounted in public places and ripping their cords out to bring even a moment of blessed silence. Make picture-perfect memories. Cook amazing foods. Patience. Patience. This week's theme is hope. Hope requires our patience, too. In Reverend Rosemary Morrison's reading for the first week of Advent, she asks us to think about what the upcoming winter solstice means, the lengthening of the days. But the warmth that that lengthening promises is still a long way away. For today's Christians, those of us who may still have a religious significance for Christmas in our lives, anticipating the birth of Jesus, they take an attitude that wouldn't have been possible for anyone living at the historical time of Christ's birth, because no one, except possibly Mary and Joseph themselves, knew what was coming. Patience for a celebration requires foreknowledge of that celebration. When we know something is coming, we can measure the days. We can instill these rituals to focus our attention on preparation. Hope doesn't require foreknowledge. That's why it's harder. Between two words, choose the quieter one. Between word and silence, choose listening. Between two books, choose the dustier one. Between the earth and the sky, choose a bird. Between two animals, choose the one who needs you more. Between two children, choose both. Between the lesser and the bigger evil, choose neither. Between hope and despair, choose hope. It will be harder to bear. Like Jesse said, hope and patience go hand in hand, but they are not the same. Often we must hope for things without knowing what they are or when they will arrive. When we work to maintain hope without a specific focal point or timeline, when we work to cultivate a spiritual practice of hope, that's when patience also comes in. Go slow if you can. Slower. More slowly still. Friendly, dark, or fearsome, this is no place to break your neck by rushing, by running, by crashing into what you cannot see. When we cannot see precisely what it is we are hoping for, when we are cultivating an air of expectancy without specific expectations, we must move slowly. We must be patient. We must not crash into what we cannot see. Jan Richardson is an author, an artist, and a minister ordained in the United Methodist Church. And she gives special attention each year to Advent, to this season of waiting, of patience, of slow, plodding progress towards an endpoint which remains unknown and elusive. What is born each year in the nights of cold and darkness is born anew, is received into a world in need of particular gifts and balms. What will be born this year? What will we take from this season of darkness to grow into the light that awaits us around the corner in a new year and a new season? I do not know what these shadows ask of you, what they might hold that means you good or ill. It is not for me to reckon whether you should linger or you should leave. But this is what I can ask for you. That in the darkness there be a blessing, that in the shadows there be a welcome.
that in the night you be encompassed by the love that knows your name. In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, one of our core shared values is pluralism. This means we understand that each of us as individuals is responsible for our own faith journey and that we are accountable to one another in our religious communities. In the language of the bylaws of the Unitarian and Universalist Association, quote, "We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning." This shadow season, this time of waiting, of patience, of making the harder choice of hope when the outward signs are all pointing us toward despair, it's safer for us to do this together. Together, on our own paths and where we join, we might find great meaning within the darkness. We might inspire one another, help to fill one another's cups. We might be able to turn a season filled with what feels like too much everything, too many expectations, too much noise, too many people, too much pressure. We might be able to turn that into a restful place where we plant quietly, with patience, our hope. Between the earth and the sky, choose a bird. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. Novak's poem makes explicit the ways that we always have more choices than may appear available to us. When faced with deciding between two things, there are always others, unnamed, available. If hope and despair are painted as our only two options, what is in the between? Between the earth and the sky, choose a bird. How do we travel this season? How do we stay between hope, not in despair? We travel slowly. We travel with patience. We travel with hope. Though it be a burden, though we do not know what waits for us in the darkness, we go into it together. If the tune without the words of hope never stops, what stops us from hearing it? The noise of the world, the strongest storms, the deepest sorrows, all of these, any of these, can drown out hope. It is a radical notion to stop, to slow down, at a time when everything in our world seems to be pleading for our urgency. But so many things worth waiting for take time. Change, growth, understanding, compassion, love. In the dark, Richardson suggests, we may find unexpected blessings. Given a challenging choice, Novak suggests, we may find the strength to make the harder one. And bless her, Emily Dickinson suggests to us that hope is there even at the times we cannot hear it, cannot access it. When it feels remote from us, hope is always there, and hope does not require us to feed it to keep it alive. The love that knows our name, the choice that frees us, the hope that is always available. If only we will go slowly. If only we will give ourselves permission to go slowly, to be wrong, to reconsider what we thought we knew, to be open to choices that we didn't imagine before. If only we will go together. Together we can reflect love to one another. Together we can remind one another of the choice to be free, to work for freedom for all. Together we can remind one another to quiet the other noises, to hear the song of hope. So may it be.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger, an ever-aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, its only seed. It's the heart afraid of waking, breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never takes a chance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give, and the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. When the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long, and you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong, just remember, in the winter, far beneath the bitter snow, lies the seed that will
Thank you. Absolutely one of my favorite songs. Yay. And much like the gifts of talent that Still Frisky shares with us, we come to that time in our service each week where we invite you into generosity. It does take time, talent, and treasure for us to keep trying to make us all able to hear that song of hope in the world. So to support the ministries of this church, our ushers will now gratefully accept the offering.
I hear the crying of the hungry in the deserts where they're wandering. Hear them crying out for heaven's own benevolence upon them. Hear destructive power prevailing. I hear fools falsely hailing to the crooked wits of tyrants when they call. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all.
I hear the sound of tearing pages and the roar of burning paper. All the crimes and acquisitions turn to air and ash and vapor. And the
Rattle of the shackle far beyond emancipators, and the lowliest to gather in their stalls. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all.
While you sit and whistle Dixie with your money and your power, I can hear the flowers growing in the rubble of the tower.
I hear leaders quit their lying, I hear babies quit their crying, I hear soldiers quit their dying, one and all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear the tender words from Zion, I hear Noah's waterfall. See the gentle Lamb of Judah sleeping at the feet of Buddha, and the prophets from Elijah to the old Paiute Ravoka take their places at the table when they're called. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. So while you sit and whistle Dixie with your money and your power, I can hear the flowers growing in the rubble of the tower. I hear leaders quit their lying, I hear babies quit their crying, I hear soldiers quit their dying, one and all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Got it. Okay.
Things we do on Sunday morning is share the joys and the concerns of this congregation. If you, I know you've heard this a zillion times, but if you want to have joys and share your joys and concerns, you can notify the church office, you can let somebody from the caring committee know, or you can write in the Lifelines book, which is usually on the pulpit on Sunday mornings, and then there's a little alcove next to the name tags that's out in the corridor during the week. We have a number of joys and concerns today. Please bear with me. First of all, we had a blood drive here yesterday, and they collected 15 units of blood for the Red Cross. Thank you for everybody who participated. 15 units is pretty good for a holiday weekend, I'm telling you. Thank you to everybody who donated and volunteered to help with the blood drive. Please, longtime members Dick and Judy Lahman, they haven't been here very often, but lately. But Dick has a broken hip and is presently in Friendship Manor. So keep your thoughts and feelings for them. Jackie Martin was blessed with a new great grandson. Woo! Carlton Hamlet. He was born November the 19th and weighs 9 pounds, 7 ounces. He's a big boy. He's doing very well. Pam Fisher announced that on the 2nd of November that her son was married in Ouachita, Texas. I hope I'm doing that right. And the couple will reside in Chicago. And finally, last but not least, the Fairbanks took Felicia, which is Ronald Williams' dog, to visit him on Tuesday. He is now breathing on his own. He is walking and talking. He is presently still at Carillion, Crystal Towers, ICU 4. I'm telling you, this is quite a remarkable recovery. As a retired nurse, it's quite a remarkable recovery. He can only have 2 visitors at a time, and Beth Griffin, has kind of been keeping an update of who's visiting and who isn't. So if you want to go, please contact her first so you can go visit him if you need to. He still has some very limited use of his right arm and his right hand, but he has made quite a remarkable recovery. If you have a joy or concern that's in your heart, and you would like to come and light a candle for that today, please come forward and use both sides of the altar.
This is the sound of one voice, one spirit, one voice, the sound of one who makes a choice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of voices too. Sound of me singing with you, helping each other to make it through. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices three, singing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all of us, singing with love and the will to trust. Leave the rest behind, it'll turn to dust. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of all of us. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
Another one of my favorites. Playing the hits today. And I want to say, Jane, we want to hear it every week because there's always people. I want to thank the Caring Committee Special. The work that they do and the way they keep in touch with one another and help out folks who need help is amazing. And if you're ever interested in figuring out how you can help, please see Sally, all right? Because we do need to say it every week because there's always new people, right? There's somebody who hasn't heard it 1,000 times before. So it's very important that we share it. And thank you, Jane, for bringing that today. So yeah, I lit a personal candle for a friend of mine, also named Ron, last week, who's also doing, all things considered, remarkably well. So in honor of people who defy odds, I will light this candle this morning. Obviously, we still need to keep these folks in our thoughts, sending them good energy, and it's amazing to behold. I'll light this candle this week for, this is also done a lot. I'm going to light this for everyone who's traveling, right? Like there's been so much that's been kind of in the news about how our systems of travel have been impacted and changed. So we want to light a candle for everybody traveling and all of those who help our loved ones travel safely. For all the pilots and the bus drivers and the train folks and everybody who's helping someone get somewhere safe this season. And as I do every week, I am going to light one final candle for everyone who's joining us online. We know that you may not physically be here in the sanctuary with us, but we feel your presence with us even still. If you'll now settle yourself into your seats and prepare to join in a time of prayer, reflection, meditation, quieting of your own mind and heart. Spirit of life, help us try to slow down, to quiet ourselves, to hear what hope may be singing, to hear what other voices may need our attention. There may be some corner of our lives, of our relationships, that is not being as loud as everything else around it right now. This is a loud, bright time of year. And while it can be really beautiful, it can also be really hard to give attention to those who maybe aren't as loud or shiny or drawing as much of our attention to them. If there's somebody you haven't talked to in a while, maybe reach out. If there's something you haven't thought about in a while, if there's a spiritual practice you haven't tried in a while, if you grew up doing Advent but haven't done it in years, you might think about how can we use this season of preparation. Change always comes. Change is always a part of life. The calendar is going to turn. The sun and earth's tilt will shift. The nights will grow longer, and then they will grow shorter again. In the dark and the quiet and the still, open your heart to what may be speaking or singing to you. So may it be.
And now, as we draw close to the end of our time together in worship this week, we turn our attention from within our own community and their joys and concerns, and we prepare to engage with the world in the week ahead. We'll begin with a few announcements. First, here at UUCR this holiday season, we are supporting several charitable collection efforts. And you can pick up a flyer with more information on all of them. It's a great time of the year for us to live fully into our Unitarian Universalist shared value of generosity. And second, today, immediately following the service, we have the unique opportunity for fellowship. We'll be hanging the greens, decorating our sanctuary for the holiday season. And next week, we'll have our first packing party for donations we are collecting for the unhoused students of Patrick Henry High School. Many hands make light work, so help us co-create a more beautiful world.
Thank you, Bruce. And I will ask you now to go ahead and extinguish the chalice here in our sanctuary, joining again Unitarian Universalist churches, communities, and congregations around the nation and the world, knowing that we extinguish the flame here in our sanctuary, but that we carry the flame of our faith within our hearts for the week ahead.
I am resilient. I trust the movement. I negate the chaos, uplift the negative. I'll show up at the table again and again and again. I'll close my mouth and learn to listen. Whoa, 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 yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. These times are poignant. The winds have shifted. It's all we can do to stay uplifted. Pipelines through backyards, wolves howling out front. Yeah, I've got my crew, but truth is what I want. Realigned and on point, power to the peaceful, prayers to the waters, women at the center, all vessels open to give and receive. Let's see the system brought down to its knees. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm made of thunder, I'm made of lightning, I'm made of dirt, yeah, made of the fine things. My father taught me that I'm a speck of dust and this world was made for me. So let's go and try our luck. I've got my roots down, 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 down deep. I got my roots down, 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 down deep. I got my roots down, down, down deep. I got my roots down, down, down deep. So what are we doing here? What has been done? What are you gonna do about it when the world comes undone? My voice feels tiny, and I'm sure so does yours. But put us all together, make a mighty roar. A mighty roar. I am resilient. I trust the movement. I negate the chaos, uplift the negative. I'll show up at the table again and again and again. I'll close my mouth and learn to listen.
I am not just being a flatterer. Another one of my favorite songs. That was on my ordination playlist. I mean, a lot of songs were on my ordination playlist, but it was in there. Thank you to everyone who offers their gifts to make this happen every week. Could you all stand for the benediction in body or in spirit? Let's go out into this week that's going to demand a lot of us. And let's have the power to go slowly and quietly to hear that voice, the still small voice of hope and of love. Go with peace. I'll put this one out right now before I forget. Yes. Can I go put the microphone back and then I'll come back and talk to you so that I don't get caught up? Yes. So yes, I'll be right back. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Let me take this back. Excuse me. I'm just trying to squeeze back here. Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Okay. I'm gonna put this down. Here you go. I know I'm going to get swamped immediately, so.